The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do that for now.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Tell him Large Marge sent you. Sorry, we're in the middle of a conversation. Sorry. Hi, everybody. It is Friday. It is September 30th. It is the last day of September already. I am blown away.
Do you remember? I don't know the rest of the song. I just know they mentioned September.
I can't even attempt the high parts. I can't. I can't do it.
Is that the same song?
Yes. Yes.
I'll have to take your word on that.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby. Hi, everybody. It's Friday, September 30th. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast on Twitch. Thank you for joining us on Twitch. Carol Miner says we need to get Mookie on the show. Yeah, Carol, that video is very strange. I'm thrilled that he did it. Mookie is my all-time favorite baseball player, so I'm thrilled that he made that video for us. But in that video, he talks about how much fun he had the last time he was here. Would love to come back. The guy was never here. So I don't know what in the world he was talking about. Yeah. And I actually had to edit that video down because he goes on this long tirade about how bad the Mets were in the early 80s, which they were. But I don't know why he even brought that up. Like, I just
That
asked
sounds
for
like
a
axe grinding.
Maybe the man needs therapy. I don't know. Kirsten's watching. Kirsten, we put it in the comments, and I'll say it now. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Kirsten, we're here until 12:30 if you'd like to come in, and we'll give you a proper birthday present.
Ooh.
And now that's it. That's the Me Too movement now coming my way. Sorry.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirsten. Take it. So happy birthday. Hope you have a good day today. Hope you're going to do some fun stuff.
Awesome that it's a Friday.
Absolutely right.
Love when my birthday's Friday.
And it's still but you probably have bad weather usually on your birthday, or at least cold weather. On your birthday.
Since I was a kid, but through the years it's changed where sometimes actually it can be in the 60s sometimes on my birthday, which is
sucks.
weird.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, it was always cold and rainy.
Yeah. Oh, and well, Kirsten has strep throat. Oh, that sucks. Oh, well, hope you feel better. Don't think you want that, she says.
Don't think I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be worth it for both of us, for all of us. All right, well, I hope next Friday, go out and celebrate. You have to celebrate on the Friday.
Yeah.
Since, and you shouldn't miss out.
New
So
rule.
you have to make up the day. Yeah.
What day of the year was your birthday on this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Shit.
No, it's not a day.
I think it was a Thursday.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because there's a weird anomaly that my brother and I every year we have our birthdays are on the same day of the week.
Oh, that's weird.
Because I was born on the same day of the week as my brother's birthday was when I was like it, and so now forever it'll be like that.
Sure.
My daughter Daphne also same.
Oh wow.
And both my nieces.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like all of us. So as soon as you know whatever day of the week one of us is on, you automatically know.
Right. Yep.
This is my scheduling craziness.
My daughter and her mother, they were both born on the 13th of the month.
Okay.
And my son, my birthday is the 28th of April. He was born in November. He's close to you. He's November 26th.
Okay.
So I was like, I remember thinking, if he just waits 2 more days, like the mother and daughter, father and son have the same.
Well, 26
different
is
months.
double 13, so there's.
That's true. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, well, you weren't really talking to a mathematician, were you?
And I'm not very smart.
Well, you said that.
Fremder says, when I was born, the doctor slapped my mother.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my turn.
Let's do that. We should invite everybody to come in, all of our faithful, loyal, extended family,
Sure.
and just have a day where we have Fremder come in and we all take a turn slapping him. In fact, we should do it once a year. It'll be like a deal. Fremder will let you continue with the bad comments and the bad jokes,
And they'll all be read.
and once a year you have to come in here and get slapped by all of us.
Even if it is just like, it doesn't have to be hands. Like we could do it nice.
Baseball bat?
No, I was thinking more white bread and gravy. There's a friend of mine who had this whole thing in high school where he was like, it's actually a lot more complicated. Is people who are poor drivers, like there are people that get licensed to be able to do this, which is like let's say it's the first time they've screwed up. Somebody like me who's been deputized by the state gets to shoot an I, and once it spells idiot on your car, because all the people will be like, oh, okay, I got to put on a D. So once it spells idiot, we're all allowed to just, and that the government will put out bread dispensers and gravy, and you just are able to just smack those people in the face with gravy and bread.
That's fantastic.
It's just like it took up all of a lunch period in high school for this guy to come up.
I think I like that idea better. Let's do that.
So my whole life I've been like, I reference that.
So all right, so let's do that. And we should do it like in July, so that the gravy, like, would the gravy be like really sticky and stuff, or?
Well, it would just be gravy. I mean, however the gravy came out.
Yeah. We'll line up. We'll go outside. We'll get bread, right next door. They might have some gravy, or we'll go find some.
I would even go so far as to say is then the person who does it then announces reads whatever it was that Fremder said, and then finishes with a smack.
Well, I don't want to do that because I don't want it. Well, I guess we could, because then it'll make them even more mad to have to read it again.
Right.
So it'll be an even harder hit.
Okay.
All right. Because I was thinking at first, I was considering the hittee, the person that's doing the hitting. Like I wouldn't want to do that to them. But no, screw it. Let's make them read it again, and so they get.
I guess I missed the fucking point of this entire thing. But
no, you're right. You're right.
Hey, Fremder. So this has been a rough week for you, huh?
As a matter of fact, I used to breastfeed until my mother told me that she only liked me as a friend.
So it's been a rough week for him.
See, but that's why we need to smack him, because that joke has been said a million times, and he's said it on this show a million times. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I repeat a lot of stuff.
We all have our stock. I do believe there are stock jokes that I know I use, and I've told you there's so many of them that pop up over the course of discussion that I can't stop myself. But they're my jokes. They're for me. They're not actually to make other people laugh.
Right.
Matter of fact, you guys did something yesterday where you read my comment, and I had written it as I hate it when people pronounce
pecan
as and I just spelled it the same way.
Right, which is why I messed it up.
Which is hilarious to me. Because like your brain does it. You're like you automatically are like one says pecan, one says pecan. But you can't I haven't given any indication as to which one it is.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's like a regular joke for me. When somebody says Caribbean, I say actually it's Caribbean.
Yeah.
Copenhagen, actually it's Copenhagen. Like I have a whole mess of them. Caramel, tomato, potato. Let's call the whole thing off. See, I can do that stupid singing thing too. Not stupid. Awesome singing thing. Jeepers, creepers. Where'd you get them peepers?
Yeah, his whole life is a musical.
Less is more for sure.
Less is more. I had a good time with Les Deegan yesterday. Yeah, Les is a lot of fun. Les is a good guy.
I really enjoyed that. I mean, I was sitting super high on my couch.
Not high up on the couch.
No.
Yeah.
But watching it on the big screen TV because I downloaded this Twitch app on my TV.
I can't imagine what is it like to watch Les Deegan high?
Awesome.
Good answer.
Well, there's very few things that aren't awesome.
True.
Because even Hitler documentaries are pretty chill.
Nice.
If I can.
Well, all right. Well, speaking of being high and whatnot, this is the moment we've been waiting for. We've been waiting all week to hear the stories of the debauchery and the mayhem.
Yeah, well, so it's so funny because it's like more pathetic than anything.
Well, just to fill you guys in case you don't know what we're talking about. Last weekend, Andy went on a comedy road trip. Terry McNeely, Billy Geyer, Joe Winchell, yourself. Who am I missing?
Well, Jay was supposed to be on it.
Yep, Jay doesn't count because he didn't go.
Family. But it worked out for Terry as like basically as being a road producing his own show via the road. It worked out that I was there because they could still have the same length of show and not put pressure on anybody.
Right. You weren't scheduled to perform.
I wasn't. I was just going for the hang and to...
you killed Jay's aunt so that you can get the gig.
I did. And Jay, I'm sorry, but...
sorry, not sorry.
It was the road. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Let's see if I can rip off any other names of podcasts.
Oh, I didn't even... I didn't even think about that.
My mind immediately goes to that. And what's funny is I was literally with the original Road Rage... half of the original Road Rage tour, which was Terry McNeely and George Gallo. So that was funny also. But it really was so Joe picks me up at Billy's house because I went to leave the truck there so I didn't have to drive all the way back to East Setauket. So I'm in Wisconsin, closer to the expressway than East Setauket is also.
Right.
And Joe's coming from work in Medford. So this was just like jump on the expressway, just jump off the expressway, we jump back on.
Right.
And he's one of those people that gets like, Like he's like, come on, get in the car, and I'm like, I have,
Joe is.
Yeah, I have tons of bags with me because I'm an adult, and I had gone through this horrible thing with my esophagus where I burned the shit out of it with my stomach acid. But so I had like ginger with me and bananas and all these things that like just in case I can't get, because Janice, Billy Mama Geyer.
Mama Geyer.
They used to live in Walton.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
So I said, hey, like, what is there anything in Walton? She's like, well, there is a supermarket. She's like, but it kind of closes. She's like, there's nothing like 7-Eleven. There's, Walton is like the sticks. It really is the sticks.
Yeah.
So many fuck Biden.
Yeah, I bet.
Let's go Brandon stuff everywhere. It was just like, oh my God, these are the people that think land votes. Like they think because they live on this fucking acre or 2 acres that their vote should somehow mean something more than somebody who lives on a quarter of an acre.
I'm sitting here thinking that it's the sticks, but they have a comedy club.
Well, no, they don't. It's not a comedy club. It is a performance space. It's this place called Delaware, the Castle on the Delaware. That's it, because the Delaware River ends up being sort of the theme of the trip. But it's this castle, which it's like an 18th century army fort.
Oh,
you could see it a little bit in the pictures. I have better pictures of it, but it's huge and it's very nice inside. The one thing working against it is it's a huge space, and so it kind of can get echoey.
Oh, okay, yeah. Acoustics are bad.
Yeah, and even some of there's a guy who was a musician that we met who's from Walton who is like, yeah, I keep trying to get him to like hang dampeners, like from the ceiling.
These things,
right? And they have big. They do make ones that are just these big hanging ones that you can put in a big room like that.
It's amazing how much these things absorb.
Yeah.
But, when we were redoing this room and we were doing some shows in here without these things, the difference was very obvious.
Right.
It's crazy to me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, obviously this is Tony's story now. No, man.
So anyway, while you were in Walton,
but so it was great, and it was a lot of it was a beautiful space. Nothing should be taken away from that. It really is it's got a really cool vibe. Like I said, this is sort of almost like nitpicking, because it was a great time, and Billy's family was there, his aunt.
So he still has family there.
Yeah. Well, that
okay.
There was a period of time where Billy lived up there, and they Terry always sells it as like the prodigal son returning, and
it's a hometown gig.
And just just when we're messing with Billy about being there's all these 12-year-old girls here who are like, that's the guy that touched me. And then he disappeared. Get him before he disappears again. Like I said, we were sitting in this breakfast place, and I'm like, yeah, the girl over there just suddenly froze up, started shaking a little bit, and peed all over the chair.
Oddly enough, that's I have the same reaction when I see Billy.
So the hotel was super. Joe and I, the fucking traffic was insane to get through the city, but we finally got there 15 minutes before we were leaving for the show, so we didn't get to really chill out.
Yeah.
So both Joe did good, but he didn't do as good as he even would want to do for himself.
Yeah, you need that time.
The next night, Joe, I have not gotten to see him just straight up be a host. And I sat in, I made sure I watched his whole set and all the times he brought people up and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, Joe really has gotten his shit together.
He's a talented guy.
He's a talented guy, and he has a great regular set. But hosting, as we all say, being such a different animal,
yeah, he
has really nestled into it. He still does his regular shit is great. I had not gotten to see him like that. He had with the right amount of crowd work for himself, and just sort of the rule. Remember what the rules are, because he'd set out the rules before of clapping until The next person gets up to the mic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, come on, you guys remember the rule. Come on, keep it going. And they did it. Like, he had them in the palm of his hand. He did such a fantastic job. And I would even say for myself, I had 10 minutes the first night, and I felt like it didn't go so great. There were laughs and everything. I just didn't do as well as I would have liked to.
Okay.
But the second night in Scranton was a lot better, and I only had 5 minutes because this was like actually being produced by the place.
Oh, okay.
So they had other comics that were on.
Oh, okay. They brought in some of their own.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And
That's got to be cool to meet comedians from other areas.
No.
No?
Yes and no.
Oh.
So the Walton, there's this guy that I don't know how he got in touch, but he did 5-7 minutes, and he's like a dentist. The funniest fucking part was he's watching Terry, right? Now, I've known Terry
Right, yeah.
for 20 fucking years.
Right.
And so a lot of what he's saying up there is not that foreign to, like, how I know him.
Okay.
So I've heard all of this shit through the years.
Right.
So me, Billy, and Joe are on our phones, and this cat is, like, paying, like, super attention and clapping at parts where he agrees with, and and he's even like kind of commenting like, yeah, right. Now we're pretty far away. We're on some couches because it's a huge room. So we're like kind of in a corner, and he's just like, yeah, that's right. And
He's in church.
He pretty much, and he would go to look at us to like get like some sort of affirmation or something.
Right.
And the look on his the look on his face, like. And I remember he said something like, he's right. And I'm like, about what? Because I really wasn't paying attention.
Right.
And Joe said something really snide to him, but it was fucking hilarious. And so I'm just like, but he's like, these people, these are Terry's people. This guy's so into it and clapping and everything. And the look on his face of like, why are you guys not like totally into this right now? And I mean, I was listening, and like there are certain jokes that I, much like with Billy, I love to watch the crowd and see how the crowd reacts to it. Terry, it's much the same. I feel like I'm just in. I think that's a level that people get to with performing comedy, where you've seen people, your friends, and you've seen people enough that you're like, and okay, I'm not gonna go outside and have a cigarette or anything, but I'm gonna watch the crowd and see what they think.
Oh yeah,
because then afterwards you could be like, oh my god, you should like. Billy tells this joke where he's like, like Jesus Christ, which just Jesus and lollipops are the same, because in the end they're just suckers on a stick. Oh. and we were at a Village Idiot, and this woman was like, I was in with Tom DeSillis, and I were sitting at a table, and this woman was like, who's like, I'm facing Tom, stage is over there, and this woman was like facing the stage right there, so I was looking right at her, and as soon as he said it, she went like double hand, like, oh my god, you're going to hell. I'm like, not for that, lady.
Yeah, right. He's done so much worse.
Right. So there was that, and then when we went down to Scranton, there were the two people that were on the show with us that were put on. One was an Army vet with a cane, and only because he had a hip surgery, it's not necessary all the time. And then this grandmother who was hilarious. Him, I didn't really vibe with his style so much. Like, I could tell that there were funny stuff in there, but like, I think if he probably works on it a little bit more, it'll be like fucking
solid.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
But she had a lot of stuff that was pretty fleshed out. So they were funny. But before the show, we're sitting out front, and it's like a storefront, but it's one of those ones that has like it's under the overhang. Like the door isn't for another 10 feet from the front of the place.
Okay.
And so we're sitting there, and this lady brings up the new Little Mermaid, like about how it's a black chick playing Ariel. So she's like, and this guy, this Army vet's fucking right there with her, like, yeah, that's the problem. They're trying to, like, and it's fucking great because Winchell's like, you know what it is about mermaids? they're not fucking real. It was fucking hilarious because the two of them are just like, anyway, and then they realize they can't include him in this because he's not upset that there's like that the fake character is being played by somebody you don't want them to be played by. This is the most, to me, and I gotta say, like, say what you will, that is racism.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're on the fence, because I know a lot of people go, oh, just because I don't, I'm pro-white means no. This is that situation where there's no denying that's racism. You're being a racist, which lean into it at least. Then own it. Don't say
embrace it.
Okay, hey, listen. Then I am a racist, like because I do want I want to see a white person singing part of your world, I guess. But so the guy, he keeps talking. Billy and I were just talking this. I have this tendency nowadays to just get on my phone and I play this brick breaking game, and just so I don't have to be part of conversations. Happened with his dad because his dad came to the show. Billy's dad.
Oh, okay.
He came to the show in Walton, and like I just started playing because I don't want to deal because I've heard stories and and you just don't want to.
Right.
I just don't want to accidentally say something because I will because that's the way my brain works. Because I'm like, how can I make this super clever that nobody understands what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But why do that? Like, this is your fucking like best comedy friends,
right?
Dad, like, don't do it.
As much as you want to.
Yeah. No, I did. But I'm sitting there, and he goes, the guy with the cane's like, it's it's why I got into comedy is to start the revolution. And I couldn't take it anymore.
Start the revolution?
These are Terry's people. I put my phone down and I'm like, listen, pal, I don't think dick jokes is how the revolution is going to start.
You said that?
Yeah. Because, like, dude, could you not? Like, this is comedy. We're trying to make people laugh.
Right.
This has nothing to do with making people think. Anybody who mistakenly thinks that the reason they're doing comedy is to make people think is missing the point of what stand-up comedy is.
Yep, I agree.
I would say those are the people, like we say, like, oh, stand-up comedy is being ruined. It's people who do that, who think that they're gonna get other people to want things to change. No, the people who agree with you are gonna fucking be like, yeah, and the people who don't agree with you are gonna shut down. So no, you're not.
You don't think so? Let's take somebody who did it well, like a George Carlin. You don't think he got people to think either?
I actually don't. And here's the fucking reason why. I've got friends of mine who are super right-wing, which, again, there's not a judgment on any of that.
Sure.
But they're super right-wing, super pro-cop, all this shit. They'll post something about what George Carlin said about climate change, which is a comedy bit.
Right.
It's actually, like, that's a comedy. Like, if you listen to that, like, okay, he's being funny. And then they don't post, though I typically, in my dickish fashion, will do it. I'll post all of George Carlin's anti-cop stuff, which is robust and rich and way more than this climate change kind of thing. So it's like, dude, no, he didn't. He got people, like, the things that people want to agree with, they agreed with.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Now, there are some people who didn't think about some of the stuff, which is a very small portion, and like, oh, yeah, you know what? He's fucking right about that. But again, he was doing comedy.
Right.
He was doing it to make you laugh. He was not doing it to make you think. He was doing it to be funny.
Well, I'm not suggesting, because what you just said, oh, he's right about that. I'm not suggesting he made them change their minds. I'm just asking, did they think? I mean, that's two different things.
Because I think what's implied there is that they were thinking about the other argument or an opposing argument.
Okay.
And they didn't. They just skipped by.
Right.
They, like, this whole cops thing. Like,
right. Oh, yeah.
Like, you I'm sorry, you're a detective sergeant. Guy I'm friends with who's a detective sergeant in the Bronx who's like, and he posted, and then I posted right on that the thing about cops, and he's like, well, but that's just a joke. Like, no, like, he's talking about how he grew up.
Right, but if you're going to say that, then you got to say that about all of it.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what
I do agree with you. At the end of the day, he was all about making people laugh. I agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's the same guy who would then go to like, fart jokes and shit like that. Like that's what he was doing. That's what he thought was funny was this stuff.
Right.
So
yes.
So yeah, no, the revolution will not be on a fucking stage in Scranton.
That's amazing to me. That's why I got into this.
Right, and I'm like, dude, it was just so funny because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk to this guy. But then when he found out I was a vet, he fucking close talked and fucking his mouth was stank
in yours? Oh.
So fucking bad. But he's like, right here, and I'm trying to like move away, and he's just like leaning into it. But we did like the trading of story kind of things that vets tend to do. And whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I did think that he had some funny stuff that if he works on more, just like me, I have some funny stuff I need to work on more too. Like it's not like I'm throwing stones from anything but a glass house.
I need to change the subject for a second.
All right, bring it.
I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. And he gave me the first name of a guy he knows, and I can't remember the first. I want to say maybe Billy, but I'm not sure if that's right. But he was telling me about his friend, his best friend, who was in the Air Force in North Dakota. And I'm like, holy shit.
Who is this?
A friend of mine that I was talking to. He's telling me he's kind of a new friend of mine. And
fuck yet?
No, we're kind of working towards it. Yeah,
want to make it happen organically.
Yeah, we're still in that awkward, like, is it going to happen? Not stage. Yeah. But he's a guy I met through the special needs community. He's a father, and we've become friendly. So we were talking the other day.
Oh, good thing he's a father and not just somebody who's hanging out with the special needs community. I'm sorry. That's immediately where my brain went. Like, he's one of the creeps who just like going to try to get
hanging out there. I don't know why. But yeah, he was telling me about his best friend growing up as a kid. Was in the Air Force, and I met
there's two different places in North Dakota.
Dakota.
There's one's in the West, one's in the East. I was in the West.
Okay. He didn't get that specific.
Grand Forks, which is closer to Winnipeg, closer to Fargo, right on the Minnesota border.
Right.
Grand Forks is the other one, and that was a tanker base.
I don't remember the guy's name, but he did say the guy found religion while he was there, and now he's a missionary in Africa.
I was going to say Saskatchewan.
No. But none of that sounds familiar to you?
No, there's so many. You know what? There's so many fucking crazy religious nuts.
Yeah, but
everywhere.
I figured how many would find it while there and then go on to become a missionary. So I thought,
dude, I knew a kid who was from Goldsboro, North Carolina. He worked in the same office as I did, but he was known in the dorm for if they were watching a porn on the big screen TV in the day room.
Yeah,
he'd come in, realize they were doing that, and then he would put his hand under his to open the doorknob to get out because he didn't want to get fucking dirt all over him. Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's all types everywhere. Like, I don't think that's Johnny Hatchton because he's not from New York. He's from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Yeah. All right, let me read some comments and we'll get back to Kane Guy. I guess not telling the same joke twice would be having to tell a different set 4 out of 7 days a week, says Femder. All right, you got me there, Femder. You got me. No one has to read my comments out loud because I know they're being read. Well, yeah, you're right about that. I guess if you tell the same joke to different people, they've never heard it, so it's okay. Yes. And if you noticed, we went on to something else, but he's
hung up. Well, it's personal to him, so that's what happens.
I guess comedy's like sex. You're done in 7 minutes. I might not be funny.
You sting?
Yeah, right. Hey. I might not be funny, but I know that there are other people that are not funnier than I am. Okay.
Oh, now he's getting all fucking feeling his.
I know. Yeah, we're just busting your chops, pal. Bosie's there. Good morning, Jeff. Whoops, where'd it go? My repeat jokes are probably in my comedy Tourette's on the Twitch. Don Shell's watching. The only people I hear talking about this mermaid stuff are the ones who say they're not racist. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's because that's how it starts. That's how the conversation is. I'm not racist, but no, you are. Like right. It's just by definition. It's not even like an opinion thing. It's a fact. If you're upset by this, you're upset by this. Embrace it, but it is racism. It's not anything but that.
Fremda says, I'll say it. I prefer a white fish. talking about the mermaids.
Whitefish is delicious.
Absolutely. Don says, explain that to Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. I think I know
SNL
that.
Cast.
So but Jimmy Kimmel is not trying to change anybody's mind.
Oh, we're talking about Donald Trump and all that?
Yeah. Like that's he's got and you should have an opinion, but you're not changing anything. Like you're not changing anybody's mind when you go up there and talk about the stuff. You just aren't.
I think from a guy like Kimmel and Fallon, those guys are on TV. I mean, the man has been president, 2 years at this point?
Right.
But he's such
he's
an easy target.
Though.
Right.
It is that he's still in the news. So.
And if I'm a Trevor Noah, if I'm a Jimmy Kimmel, of course I'm going to stay on Trump. It's such an easy target,
right.
And it's going to get talked about the next day.
Yeah.
I've wondered if Jimmy Kimmel even really gives a shit about Trump, or what, like these guys' real personal views on life are not displayed on TV.
Right.
These guys are just going for the headline. They're going for the good joke.
Right.
They're going for, who's going to quote them on Twitter the next day. That's it.
Yeah. No. Oh, ow.
You all right?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
No, I'm not good.
Yeah. No. That's why I said, like, Kimmel, fuck him. Like, fuck everybody who. And if that is his intent, then he's missing the point.
Absolutely right.
That,
yes.
In my opinion, because I don't think, like, I've told you that the conversations that I have with the group out east that we do the open mic on Mondays, one of the recurring conversations we have is, what can't you really talk about? And I truly, truly believe that as long as you come from a genuine spot of being funny and not trying to make a point, you can say anything. You can make a joke about anything.
I agree, but I do think in what we're talking about here, Kimmel has a habit of beating it to the ground.
Oh yeah,
like remember, and it's not political. Remember, he had that whole me and Matt Damon hate Matt Damon hate each other.
Matt Damon, yeah.
Oh my God, that's been going on for years.
Right. It doesn't happen so often. That it interferes. So when it pops up, it is sort of like an inside joke for everybody.
And then Don mentioned SNL. I mean, I do agree to a certain extent. I don't, and I don't even care if it's right or left. Whatever side they're attacking, but I just don't like how it's gotten so political. I used to like the original. They made up their own characters, and there was a lot more originality.
Well, I also think, like, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like, there was not the kind of dedication to news as an entertainment source that there is now.
Yes, agreed, which I don't like either.
So you could say sort of a broad generalized thing, like Republicans hate poor people. And it was kind of like, you weren't necessarily actually even talking about Republicans. You were just talking about, like, a certain type of person.
Yes.
But you would use saying something, or Democrats, like,
right.
Like you could use those, and it'd be like, right, shorthand for, right, these fucking people.
Right. Yes.
But because news has become such this entertainment thing, and it becomes sports, people are fans of sides. They don't actually, like, if they were to actually know what the platform of their, like, they would be uncomfortable with a lot of the stuff. It doesn't matter what political party you're in. Like one of my favorite things was, like, Obama. Yeah, you were more likely to die from a drone attack during Obama's administration. Like morally reprehensible things. And just because somebody voted for them doesn't mean they were voting for the drone thing. They were voting for something else.
Right.
And that was important to them. And then if you say drones, they'd be like, oh yeah, no, I really don't like that, and they really need to change that. Right. You don't agree with everything these motherfuckers, and it's okay to say, I don't agree with everything these motherfuckers say. And that to me is the problem, is because, and here's when you know somebody won't take that in, is when they go, yeah, but, and they point out something about a different politician from the other side who did something similarly.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, it's okay to take this case by case and not have to. Comparison is the simplest form of thought.
Right.
Like it was raining, now it's not.
I did that just Just the other day, I was talking to a friend, and this person was talking about how just basically saying that this person believes Biden's kind of maybe going senile, and
Probably.
yeah,
He's old.
right. And I agreed, and this person said, it's like we're in real danger because he's going senile, and I said, well, actually, no, I think it was worse during Reagan's second term,
Right.
But I didn't mean, and as soon as I said it,
Yeah.
I realized what I did.
Right.
I did just what you explained,
Right.
But that wasn't my intent. But this person immediately called me out on it and got mad.
Right.
And I said, whoa. I said, and I apologize. I said, I didn't mean to do that. I do feel that way, but I'm not coming from a Republican Democrat.
Hey, you could even say the end of. I mean, you have to take it back kind of far, but it's kind of like at the end of Roosevelt's administration. He was in the fourth fucking term, and he was fatally ill, and so that was it was during a war.
Right.
And whatnot. That was extremely dangerous to have somebody who's in a compromised health kind of fucking position doing this shit. Like, there are examples that you could use to like diffuse that, but then what's funny is that person's just going to take it as
Republican
it's fucking
Democrat
Democrats.
thing. Right.
But I think if maybe you throw a bunch of them together, maybe like Reagan and Roosevelt both did the same fucking thing.
But you're right. I mean, because that, like you said, it's become a sport. It's become entertainment.
Yeah, they're fans. People are fans.
And that's what the news has become.
Right.
If you watch it closely, you get very little, this attack happened. But, of course, they eventually get to, on Twitter today, this one posted, and then this one said about this, and this one. It's like gossip.
Yeah. Well, that's... people shit on like the BBC or whatever, but it really is one of the greatest. Like, if you just want news, just go to fucking watch the BBC stuff, because there's no news source in America, with the exception of NPR, which unfortunately NPR has gotten hung with the taking a side thing, but they haven't. Like, that's what's the funny is, like, they're just as hard on everybody the same way. It's just you don't listen to NPR until somebody pulls out an NPR article and says, look what NPR said.
Right.
Like, that's out of fucking context.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I can sit and watch Fox News or MSNBC all day, and it's just editorial after editorial after editorial.
Yep.
Which that's what they are, and they shouldn't call them. We should come up with a different word than news.
You're right.
Refer to them.
Right, because it's not news, it's editorials.
Yeah.
The editorial channel.
Right.
Fox editorials.
News commentary. Like, I don't even want the word news in there.
Right.
So just call it commentary television, something like
yeah,
that.
right. Absolutely. You're right about that.
Because it's just such bullshit.
And it's fine to have your Fox News, and it's fine to have your CNN. That you want that point of view, then go there. So what?
And because most people who watch those are incapable of processing the news on their own and forming their own opinion and be in jeopardy of being against their own team.
Right.
Because, like, oh, shit, they did that. Like, that's not good.
And that's the problem, too. God forbid you're with your team on one topic, but then you're not on another. Like, it's all or nothing, which that's dangerous.
Exactly.
We should be running the country right now.
No, fuck no. I don't want that kind of responsibility. I don't want people talking about, like, Andy took 8 shits today. Like, I have a problem.
Do you think they're not talking about that already?
I don't know. I want them to. My ego wants
the fact that it's 8, but they're all still, even like you total them up, it's still less time than I'm taking for one.
That's true.
Like, the fastest shitter ever. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
You can't be me.
You should join a contest.
You can't be me.
All right, let's go back to some comments. I still want to get back to the weekend. Let's see, where was Bose? I don't care what color room it is. I'm just upset that they have to keep remaking movies that should be left alone. Beansy says, hello. Bose, I mean, that Ghostbusters movie that was made was horrible. Bubbled, but with that, consider me to be a sexist. The talk to text, Jeff, gets you every time. Don, Trump jokes have become hack. They're too easy. Yeah, I'll give you that. There's folks. I really hate speech to text. Beansy, I really hate oranges. Don, comedy should be about calling out BS on both sides. Agreed.
I don't believe. No, actually, I like calling out. No, I don't think that's. I don't think the saying to yourself, "I'm going to call somebody out." You see something, you don't agree with it, or you see something funny in there. Sure, but calling out people, that's the problem. When people think that they're going to go up there, let me call out. So what? You're going to go call out, and you're going to lose again half the audience. And people go, oh, I hit both sides. You're going to lose the entire audience. You're not going to get them. I've seen it happen with people who try to do, and there's
try to get both sides.
Solid jokes on hitting both sides, but the rest of their act, the response I feel is stunted by the crowd because they're not sure where this person is going. And what they're going to say next, that, wait, am I supposed to laugh at this next thing? Because is it against my team? Like,
right.
You do need to have a point of view and go with it. And people transcend, people like Carlin, people like Chappelle. But I'm telling you, fucking the Giggle Room on a Friday night or that fucking place in Scranton on a Saturday night. That's not where the revolution is.
No, I totally agree with that. But like Don mentioned before, Saturday Night Live. I think Saturday Night Live could get away with going after both sides, depending on...
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd kept his mustache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and he played Richard Nixon, right?
Because then it's so obvious that all we're trying to do is be funny. Because I think when they dress them up exactly like and make them look exactly like, it becomes like a fucking like oh yeah, no, this is actually them.
Right.
Like, shut up. Like just get a bunch of people up there who can fucking sell an accent or something.
Yep.
And then,
but you couldn't avoid it. Tina Fey looked like Sarah Palin.
Well, that was that. But
they
started doing that way before.
The worst. And I was actually surprised nothing ever came out of it when the OJ stuff was going on. Not other things that, like when he finally went to jail a few years ago, back when the original trial was going on. Saturday Night Live was doing some kind of thing about it, and Tim Meadows was playing. He was playing Al Cowlings on the stand,
right,
and playing OJ sitting in the seat.
They were probably making a statement about like there only being one black actor. On
but that's what I mean. I mean, for a variety of reasons, that I'm surprised that didn't make more noise. I remember being shocked about that.
Right. And Don, I know you're not talking about open micers, but that's where the next generation of comedy is coming from. And can you tell me a comedian like other than Chappelle, Carlin, like there's so few that are able to transcend into that space. Like they're special. That's not normal. That's a specialness.
Yeah. Comedy. I'm fine with women Ghostbusters, says Fremder, because busting makes me feel good. All right, you got a chuckle out of me.
I like the bust.
Don says I love when the female Ghostbusters get slimed. Fremder, talk to text sucks. I heard the guy that invented autocorrect passed away. His gravestone said, "May he rest and piss." Don agrees that SNL should bring back the funny. Not for nothing, but if you say it the right way, racism is funny.
Yeah, well, that's if the actual like it's the ridiculousness of it, like
right.
Saying,
well, yes,
like if you sell out and go like, hey, I don't like Ariel being black, like and go in. I mean, it's a little hack, but to be like, black people can't swim, like and go into that and own it in a way that makes it ridiculous.
Right.
Racism is hilarious.
I think that's why Don Rickles got away with it.
Yeah, no,
because he was ridiculous. He was over the top, and then he, of course, would cover himself too. I'm just joking. I love everybody. All due respect. He would even thank God at the end of his sets most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like his dedication to just getting the funny out of everything.
Right.
That to me, those end up being the comedians that end up being beloved, because I don't know. I think within the comedy community, George Carlin is beloved because you hear so many people talk about what an influence he was.
Right.
But he's the only one who could actually do what he was doing. he was a unicorn.
Yeah.
Chappelle is a unicorn. Like you can't get to that level of. Yeah, there was a laugh out there, and now I'm scared.
Is that what that was? A laugh?
Haha, or it was a cough.
Oh, it might have been a cough.
Maybe because we're talking about comedy.
Don wants Fremder to write a joke book. War teaches us geography used to look like this, now it looks like that. The first comic to make fun of the president was Will Rogers, and nobody ever knew which side he was on, says Don. Oh, that's interesting. I like tweeting all over the Facebook. Carol Miner, news has become an entertainment channel these days. Issues get lost very quickly. Wars, etc., after a while become fodder. She's absolutely right
I have
about
to
that.
say, in real time, people totally knew what side Will Rogers was on. Because at that time, the things that sound benign to us now were actually very pointed of the time. Like, he was a hardcore fucking Democrat. And for labor. Like, he was a big labor guy.
Yes, he was.
So, like, I know that some of this is, like, how we look back at it or whatever, but in real time, and I know he says, like, we should talk later.
Yeah, I think he just threatened you.
Yeah.
Dude, there's many real comics out there who can craft jokes that work despite the topic and their angle on it. Yeah,
Right, but their commitment to being funny is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Their commitment to changing a mind.
You're
or an
talking about
axe
two
to
different
grind.
things at
That's
this
what I'm
point.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's the people who use it as an axe to grind or whatnot.
Right.
While you can get the laughs from the people that agree with you, you are not being as funny as you can be.
And then but then he follows it up with, "We can talk more later." That's
know.
like, we can talk more
I know.
later.
And
We're gonna talk.
Yeah, with me having a gig on a random November Wednesday night.
That's the real issue here.
Yeah.
That is the real issue, and Don is.
It's not your fault, Don. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Don.
And where is that show that night?
Arugas in Patchogue.
Showtime is what time?
I think 7 or 8. 7 seating.
So that's perfect.
8 show.
7. Let's get you up first, and then you come down.
I probably will volunteer to go first.
And then come down. It starts at 7:30, and there's going to be a comedian that first.
Okay.
Then Don's going to speak. Then the movie.
Okay.
So you could make it.
I could try.
We're talking about
as we get closer.
All right. Well, I wanted to continue about the weekend, but since we brought it up, November 16th. That is when. Don.
I just got myself out of it.
Don, it's okay to talk about this, yes? I'm pretty sure it's okay. November 16th, the Belmore Movie Theater will be the premiere of Comic Sans, starring Don Sill. Don wants to call in.
Oh, you want to come? You bring it, you sexy grandpa, you.
516-465-3990. 516-465-3990. November 16th, the premiere of Comic Sans. We will be giving away some passes to come see this. We're not doing that today, but in the coming weeks, we will be giving out passes to see the movie. It's a short film. I shouldn't say movie, but it's a short film. It's a half
got
hour.
the moving pictures and the sound. It's a movie.
Starring Don Sill, co-starring Eric Haft, Joey Cola, Carrie Karavis, Austin Brooks, then featuring Andy and myself, and Shari and Jeff and Joey Petroni. And all right, get ready. I might just have to sit back. Oh, what the? What happened?
That's so great.
Don, what happened? That was not me. I answered it, and it was gone. So, yeah, we will be giving passes out to see the movie on Wednesday, November 16th. Really looking forward to that. You there?
What up, ninjas?
What's up, my man?
All right,
How's it going, man?
I'm just going to sit back.
Oh no, I'm not gonna go to battle with Andy right now.
Well,
there's a guy named Bill Hicks. I don't know if you ever heard of him. But...
I do. He's dead. And
yeah, but...
and he was very. If he had lived any longer and kept running his shit the way he ran his shit, the right wing would hate him. He hated the right wing.
That's not true, though, because people respect the truth teller. I think when it comes to truth teller comedians, for me, it's not always political. To me, it's people that call out the bullshit and show society for the hypocrisy and all that kind of stuff.
But as long as it's funny.
Comedians say things in jest. A good comedian could say things in jest where people could digest the truth in a way, and they do change the world.
But some schmuck on a show in Scranton on a Saturday night is not starting a revolution. That's not. No, there is no revolution to be had. Like
who said this now? Because I caught the beginning of that sentence. So I didn't know if there was a audience member who said the revolution or a comedian.
It was a comedian. He was an Army vet, and they were talking about the whole fucking the Ariel thing being black in the new.
He said it on stage.
No. We were talking out in front. And when Joe tried to shut them up with saying that mermaids aren't fucking real, I thought it was.
Have to know, like, have you ever So there's also different niche, like comedy clubs and niche comedians. Like you ever go to a black comedy club?
Oh,
it's going to be all jokes that are, making fun of white people and all that, and they'll talk about the revolution, but because they're playing for a certain audience. I think maybe in this case, you being more of a liberal type, you might have been performing for the wrong crowd.
No. This wasn't about the crowd. I killed. But I'm also not doing any. I do some light generational stuff, which actually usually people on the right usually very much think.
I'm not talking about your material. I'm talking about you as a person. Like you may have been amongst the wrong people.
No, see, but I'm up there to be funny. I'm not. My intention is to be funny. My intention is not to start a revolution. And I believe that you have already lost the moment that you get on stage and think that you're starting a revolution. I think that's a joke. That's a joke. That you can't, yes, there can be truth telling, but
yeah, I'm not defending this guy's revolution.
No, and I don't think you are.
I give a shit about any of the comics that perform that. I'm talking.
But
about
I'm transitioning into the truth teller kind of thing. Have a point of view, but for the most part, those people don't end up going with an actual axe to grind. Their axe to grind is with society in general.
Dude, there's comics I only hear that argument when it's about right-wing comics. You never hear that argument with all these lefty comics.
No, I also think that it's a bad idea for them. I think it takes away. I don't think I'm talking about everybody. Yes, I'm talking specifically about that because that's what I was running into. But
political comedy
is wrong.
Is very touch and go.
Right.
And in the temperature of today society, to your point, a lower end comic or comic on the come up or a comic that's not seasoned, however you want to put it, has to be very careful with how they handle that, and the jokes have to be funny.
Well, so does the well-known comic. Like they need to, because there have been times where, I mean, look at Roseanne. Let's say Roseanne, like that somebody then.
Well, look at Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, even better. Thank you. Yes. Because as soon as you start letting that shit in,
it's when it comes.
You're alienating people.
It's when it comes from, to me, a mean-spirited place when the comic is wearing it on their sleeve.
And that's what I mean by axe to grind. That's don't go up there with an axe to grind. I'm saying
right, and you're seeing that a lot on both sides now.
Yes,
because it's so divided.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
And that's why you need the middle guy. Like I said, you needed somebody who's going to call out both sides. And when I say call out, I'm not being like, hey, I'm calling you out. No, I mean just talk about the hypocrisy on the right and the hypocrisy on the left.
Well, I see, and this is where I feel like I've seen guys try to do that. And actually say, hey, this is a right-wing joke. Hey, this is a left-wing joke, just to show. And you end
I don't think it needs to be like that either.
But it takes a talent. It takes a specific type of talent that.
Well, you mentioned Chappelle. You said that he did it right, but he got a huge backlash from the trans community for his jokes. The thing too with being a comedian, you have to have balls, and you have to, and you do have to. You can't be afraid to go up on stage and go, "Oh, I hope the audience likes me," or "I hope I don't offend anybody out there," because then you lost already.
Right.
I almost think that the guy who says the revolution has more moxie on stage than the guy who's afraid to confront the crowd.
I think because I just think it's wrong-minded. It goes into that axe to grind kind of thing.
Do you
and that's
think
true about there's liberal comics, open micers. I don't want specific names just because, but that I see them go up there and I'm like, why the fuck? This isn't funny.
Right.
First of all, yeah, anybody who throws out Trump jokes now, you might as well throw out Reagan jokes.
Yeah,
or
well, I'm not
Clinton
even
jokes.
talking about Trump jokes. I'm talking about
And
these people are talking about like other shit. And
if you want to be real edge or punk rock, or
I love
whatever,
edging.
throw some fucking Biden jokes out there.
Oh God, there's tons of
That's just fodder to be eaten up, and everybody stays away from it because he's the liberal guy.
I've actually seen way more Biden jokes recently than Trump jokes in the last few weeks.
What locally?
Not just locally primarily because I've been to a lot of shows, but like one of my favorites, because I'm going to shout out Mike Fails here for a second, is he does a bit where he's doing impressions, and he goes, "Here's my impression of gay Joe Biden. Hey, gay Joe Biden, where do you like to orgasm? Come on, man."
Yeah, but
fucking
they're not going after him hard. Those are easy. Like those are nice jokes.
Well,
That's like what SNL does.
then he goes in and does like a whole Trump. I wouldn't come on a man. I'd come on big beautiful titties, and and he's actually.
I'm just saying that it's a slippery slope whenever you take on politics,
right?
Because you
That's
are
exactly
you
what
are
I'm saying.
going to and that's why I always say to balance it out to some degree. And I don't mean balance out deliberately. I don't sit there and write, like, let's say you write 10 Trump jokes. And, now I need 10 Biden jokes. And, I'm just talking like, just throwing out there. But I think that if you're going to call out bullshit, you shouldn't even think about whether it's right or left.
That, I think you just got to what I'm talking about. The funny. Get to the funny. Not about axe grinding. Whatever is the funny. If you dedicate yourself to that, you will not go wrong.
Johnny,
we talked about a certain comic who recently went super right wing in the last few years,
right?
And I love the guy.
Likewise,
if you know,
he's my mentor. I would call him my mentor.
But but he, to me, he went all in because he saw a certain niche,
right?
Because he had a long career. And he headlines lots of shows, and he's a very seasoned vet of the comedy world. He was respected and all that kind of stuff, still is. But I think he just said, you know what, I'm going to go all in this direction and see if this boosts my...
Oh, he said that exactly. Those are some of his exact words, Don, because he talked to me about it during the pandemic.
Yeah, so he jumped in with both feet. And wants to be that. He wants to be the right wing comic, and he's been doing all those shows. He's with Mike Loftus on his show. He's been doing the LI Army. What's that? Long Island Strong, the Majority. Long Island
Loud Majority. Yeah.
He's been associated with those guys, so he's found his niche. So you can't guys like that, and then there's left comics that are the same way, and then there's all kinds of different niche comedy. So can that comedian that we're talking about, could he play, a club in Manhattan on a,
But who's
Thursday night?
Who's he gonna blame that on if he does do that? He's gonna blame it on the fucking audience. Like he's not gonna take his own account for it. He's not gonna be like, "Oh, that was me. I shouldn't have done this." It's gonna be that crowd sucked. Is what's gonna be.
When you have a comedian that's that tilted to one particular side, no matter what it is. Let's say he's joined a group that's vegans and he only has vegan jokes. Whatever the hell niche you're in, you're putting yourself in that niche only. You can only now perform for that niche and kill.
I'm frightened of this super militant vegan comedy community. I don't want to accidentally end up in one of those. That would be so horrible.
You could be the vegan comic.
You fucking meat eater.
Just make fun of meat eaters and hate the meat eaters and start your own revolution.
Yeah, I would love if they start calling meat eaters breeders.
Hey, man.
No,
you might have started your own niche and your own. Now you get to come up with your own.
I guess I'm sort of like a
slogan.
I believe in appropriate. Like, I believe in, if you're getting up there, you want to do the best you can for anybody. That's. I just want to make everybody laugh.
Well, we're sitting here talking about Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel and all these guys, and who seems like they have an axe to grind, because it's gotten old, in my opinion.
I don't watch them.
But since we're talking about those guys, you go back to Johnny Carson, who is one of my heroes. He did it right, in my opinion. Now, but you never really seem to.
Jay Leno.
Married 1,800 times. Yeah, that like me. You never really knew which side he was on. He picked on every president. They were the target. And that's the way to do it.
Whoever's in power.
Right. It's the top. What's in at that time.
Anybody who doesn't just go, because that's what anybody who doesn't go against whatever who's in power right now, that's to me a mistake. Is to not go after whoever's in power, because
and that's what they've done. They stopped doing that after Obama. They stopped nobody ever made fun of Obama, and that's when that stopped. They make fun of people in power, and then you only make fun of the opposing side.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
And that leads right into, like, they're going in with the axe to grind.
Yes,
don't do that.
Right,
like it's just not. Yes, are there niche rooms? For sure, and have fun with it. Like, if you're making people laugh, that's fantastic. But don't go into a situation where you don't know what the crowd is and just assume that everybody thinks the way you think.
Do you guys think that in this current climate, and forgive me, I talk about things that have gotten old. I always talk about Joey Cola. Do you think in this current climate it's safer and maybe even wiser to take the Joey Cola route, where he doesn't get into that at all?
I think that's maybe what I'm saying. I think
you just get into relatable stuff.
Right.
I think that, there's always going to be comics that stay away from politics. We had Nick Griffin. He was on my show a couple weeks ago, and we talked about it. And he doesn't talk about politics at all. He just talks about life. Look at Bill Cosby, before the pills and all that shit. All his material was when you gear your stuff towards the family and the family dynamics, you're always going to win. Right. Those, and you talk about yourself, and you draw from your own personal life, and that's how you kind of develop your voice. Guys that delve into the truth teller comics, I like to call them,
right?
Which derive from the Lenny Bruce chain all the way up, Mart Saul and all those guys. And I mentioned Will Rogers, the first one really to talk about politics. And
Mark Twain.
And you were right on that. Good call on that, Andy. He was definitely a Democrat.
But in real time, that was super understood.
But in his stand-up, he played it really, really nicely done. He was never vicious or angry or mean-spirited in any of his comedy. And because that's also a sign of the times. And then you got, But truth teller comedians at that long chain, we have like guys like Doug Stanhope out there doing it now. Chappelle, Chris Rock,
but I would say
Rogan, Jamie Kennedy, Jim Brewer. All these guys are out there trying to doing it and calling out the BS, because we're in a crazy time in our world here, where we're seeing a lot of change, and these are the guys that are pushing back on that change.
Right. Yeah. But again, I just think that especially, and I think mainly I'm coming from the starting out kind of not well known. You just,
I agree with you. So my point with the guys starting out, first of all, I always tell anybody starting out, don't try to be Dave Chappelle. Don't come out of the gates trying to be edgy.
Right.
And you're not Dave Attell. You're not any of these guys. You're not Louis C.K., so don't try to be. Just find your own voice and write and concentrate and focus on the writing.
Well, but
then your voice will slowly develop, and then if that's who you are, it will come out, and it should come out funny.
Right, but see, I truly believe, like, somebody goes up there, they're trying to find their voice, they actually lock into something where they're funny, and then they're like, okay, I'm getting booked. let me start fucking dropping some science on these people. I don't care if it's right or left wing. That is it's just a mistake.
Yeah,
I agree.
It would be hard for me to digest any knowledge, quote unquote, coming from any newbie.
Well,
comedian.
that's the we never even really touched in. I have such a hard time with somebody who, again, I don't want to say smart, but as well read as I am. And when I hear somebody get up and say something that is just patently wrong, and I'm not talking about politically, I'm talking about anything, but they say something that is factually and easily corrected, is factually incorrect and easily corrected, and it takes me out of what they're doing.
That's how I feel with every Biden speech I watch.
Well, I don't watch Biden speeches, so I don't.
See what I
don't
did
watch.
See what I just did there?
No.
See what I did there?
I hear, but I haven't watched like Trump speeches. I never watched any Trump speeches. I never watched any Biden speeches, so I don't even know if what is there, what people are complaining about usually, because I have
just thought
turned
you just
off.
told me you were well read.
Yeah, well read, not well listened, because none of that shit is written down. Try reading it. I have tried reading a Trump speech and a Biden speech. Both of them are out of their fucking minds. Like with
Is
with
Biden
speaking.
speech written incoherently too?
Well, no, it's the actual text of what they said, is what I'm saying. And
Right.
and seriously, you
And
want
just
to
for the
fucking
record,
go
I'm
on?
not a Trump guy. I'm not not that it matters in this conversation, but I'm not this chest thumping Trump guy. I guess I also call it out as I see it. And
Right.
Biden is the worst president we've ever had. He sucks.
That's not actually true. But see, that's factually incorrect. So when you say something like that,
who was worse than him?
the guy right before Lincoln was the worst because he had an opportunity to fucking not have the Civil War happen, but he did fucking nothing. And actually, in some
what's his
ways,
name?
Polk, I believe it was Polk.
Yeah.
Polk? Yeah.
That is, and every historian you ever will talk to, that is the worst president of all time. Like you can't.
Who's the guy who lived for? Who's the guy who died after he did his acceptance speech?
Harrison, William Henry Harrison.
That guy was better than Biden.
Well, you can't even tell because he never actually made it. No, I see what you're doing.
That's the joke, you dummy.
But see that. But this is what I'm saying is like when you play with. But I'm making a point in that when you play in that end of the pool, you are not. People aren't necessarily in comedy mindset because you're attacking their team, and if you attack their team, doesn't matter which side it is, they are going to shut off.
Yeah, and look what's happened with late night talk shows. They're all being destroyed, like the ratings. And there's so much of that over and over again.
Well, that has
like
a lot more to
SNL
do with
might be
how
getting
our
canceled. SNL's just been dismantled because they're all going way too political and alienating a whole side.
See, now I actually don't think that it's the whole political because they're still getting millions of YouTube views. But it's the television has changed so much. Like that's what's happening is like it started with scripted shows and some reality shows. Now
Buchanan was the president before Lincoln. Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
Yeah, Buchanan was the literal worst president of all time. But yeah, I forget what.
So Polk was good.
Polk, Polk still wasn't that good. Like Polk is still in like bottom 5 territory, and I'm not willing.
I did hear that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that is where the term polka music came from. Was him. So I don't want to hear any objections to that.
Right, because he was trying to be Italian.
Exactly.
By adding a vowel at the end of his name.
People believed it too.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Very end, they were like, those dirty Italians, vote them out.
There's never been an Italian president.
Thank God it's working.
Is it though?
The system? Absolutely. So happy we brought this up.
So the real issue that we're the 300-pound gorilla here is the fact that you're not coming to the movie. That's why Don's all worked up.
We're still working on this.
All right, yeah, Don, we may have found a solution to this dilemma. Yeah, because we think Butera's show starts at 7. It's out in Patchogue. We're going to tell Butera to put Andy up first, so then Andy can then shoot the Belmore. He'll miss, if we have a comedian first, and then you're going to speak a little bit before the movie. Andy might miss that, but at least he'll get there in time for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're planning to run the movie at what, like 7:45. We got to go over, like, run the show and all that, because it's a 34-minute movie, and then I was going to do something afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, you were.
But
we have the room for 2 hours, so I think we definitely have some breathing room.
Yes, change the schedule to accommodate me, please. Thank you. Perfect.
This is exactly what we're talking about. We're finding compromise. We're working it out, and that's how both sides should be doing it.
And just so, also, Comic Sans was first. We got our first laurel. We are officially in our first film festival. It's in Tokyo.
We'll take it.
My daughters want to go so bad.
I know, it would be awesome. But the Tokyo Film Festival, I'm wondering if they're going to put our names, like our voices, in Japanese or something.
That's how we know we've made it. That's how we know we've made it, that our voices are going to get overdubbed. Oh, that would be fantastic. I hope some guy has like the highest voice in the world does my voice, like, just because it would be so ridiculous.
They'll give you the deep one. You're like, I will say that I'm hoping to get a few more laurels before the movie debuts at our big premiere in November. I'm psyched for this. This is going to be huge. I wish everybody could make it. I know some other of the cast, because we're all working comedians. We thought we'd be safe on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we did try to work around everybody. November 16th, 7:30 to 9:30. We could run the movie around 8:00. So that gives you an hour, Andy. How much time do you do?
I have no clue. It's just when I show up. Usually it's around 10 though with John.
So 10. And so if you do 10, if it's 7 sharp, well, let's just say it starts at 7:15. You do 10, you can be out of there 7:30. About a half hour to get to Belmore, right?
If Andy's out the door by 7:30, I think we're good.
Rock and roll.
So we'll have to. All right, I'll have to reach out to Butera.
We'll have to make that happen.
Yeah.
What you should do, Andy?
What's that?
You should make. And I'm saying this sincerely. I'm not trying to goof on you or anything. I think you should try doing a really political, hardcore political set for Dracula.
Oh, that would be great, actually. Yeah.
And all Dracula topics,
Right.
Like, that could be funny. Maybe something like that.
I heard this new daylight savings time. It's bullshit. These fucking guys just want to line their fucking pockets.
And then do something with bats and COVID. It's right there for you.
I've been wanting to do something with COVID, but I'm like, because I think I'm so averse that my brain hasn't. But I'm getting into Dracula season. I've already booked a couple of gigs.
Yeah, I just think if you just did a straight up, like, and here he is, folks. One of the most, you have the MC do a warning. Right. He's very political, so I hope he doesn't offend anybody. You've all been warned. Here he comes, and you go, how about those people who make steaks, huh? They're fucking those people. Like, steaks should be banned.
Thank God I'm talking to you, because you know how my brain works. I immediately wanted to make it about 14th century politics. But I would and almost on purpose completely lose everybody. Like, because I'm talking about fucking King Edward II and shit like that.
Well, that's how you started off.
Right.
King Edward II is so fat.
And what's with this Henry VIII guy?
Boy, what's with the crown, huh? He has to wear that crown everywhere he goes?
Even when he's taking a shit? Yeah.
I'll give him the royal flush.
I just turned into fucking Fozzie Bear there for a second.
But no, it's Comic Sans all completed. I can't wait for everyone to see it and get it out there. Right now, it's going to hit the festival circuit. For people to see it, like whoever's watching right now, you can come and see it. The only time to see it would be at this premiere in Belmore. So whoever's on the call right now, watching, listening right this second, is invited.
Nice.
All 7 of you. 5 of you.
I think it's a 300-seater. right, Tony?
Yes.
Nice.
So we would love to fill it up with all of our friends and family and the entire cast and crew and all their friends and family. November 16th, 7:30 to 9:30.
Day after my birthday.
We will have right afterwards. There will be a rally, a political rally taking place, and Andy is invited to stay for that.
Fuck yeah! Finally, my
The
voice.
revolution starts that day.
My voice will be heard. I'm more important than everyone else.
The revolution begins.
That's what the movie's about, actually.
It's a young Che Guevara as he is on a motorcycle trip through the Alps, I guess. I don't know.
Che Guevara as a comedian.
Right.
And he's so misunderstood.
Hola, soy Che. Just all in Spanish, too.
Nice.
No, but good times, everybody. And I do mean it, too. Fremda, if he's still listening, he should write a joke book. That dude, you know how hard it is to craft jokes like that as fast as he does?
Well, yeah, you're right.
He doesn't always hit, but when he does, they're really good, and he should put them all down because those are all freaking solid. He should make a joke book.
And then kill himself.
Then it will really sell.
Because he will have shot his load of how he's important to society and is no longer worth anything.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course,
And then
that's
if he
a joke.
kills himself, he could literally say he killed.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, that being the ultimate joke.
Yes, indeed. Yes, but he can only do it once, as Daffy Duck once said.
That's right, yeah.
That's the thing about suicide. You can only do it once. Billy does a great suicide joke, which is, suicide's a lot like hitting a parked car. Like, you don't know what you should do. Maybe you're going to hang around, but you really just want to write a note and leave. I love that.
I saw somebody wrote a note, and they posted it, and it says, and they left it on this guy's car, and it says, "Hi, I'm sorry I bumped into your car. The only reason I'm writing you a note is because people are watching, and they think I'm giving you my insurance information."
Yeah, right, yes.
That's great, too.
So, all right, cool. Very nice.
Excellent. Well, thanks, dudes. You guys are great. It's always good to talk comedy with you boys.
You
Right
too,
on,
pal.
Man, I love you.
All right. Love you too, brother.
All right. See you, Don.
Peace.
Don Sill, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're happy. You pissed the man off.
God, this is the most attractive grandpa this side of
Oh, that's true.
the Carmen River.
New York girl who's watching, just in case you missed it, Don Sill said that everybody that's on right now is invited to come to the premiere of his movie Comic Sans, which is premiering November 16th at the Belmore Theater, which is in Belmore.
Qu'est-ce que c'est, New York girl?
So since you were commenting and watching towards the, technically while Don was all on the phone, you're included in that. So November 16th, that's a Wednesday night. If you're in Belmore, come on down and join us. It's gonna be a great night.
Do we know who dat?
I have no idea who New York Girl is. No. Oh, she's now asking, do you know who I am? I have a suspicion, but I'm not positive. am I?
I'm HIV positive that I do not know who you are.
Should I? Are we discussing this on the air, New York Girl?
Oh.
What?
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, you thought she was
I
confessing?
thought maybe all I saw was a name.
Yeah. And now she's not responding.
Just like I like them.
That's right.
Unresponsive.
Talking about Cosby. All right. So, all right. So, no real name. Oh, sent me a text. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm just going to look quickly
Do
right
it.
now. Yeah. Let me see.
Do it.
Oh, not that I have any way to prove this, but I was right with who I thought it was.
Oh, somebody who can't keep a name.
What?
Somebody who cannot keep a name. As in other internet handles.
Oh, got it.
There have been multiple internet handles.
Okay, so it is time for us to go.
Fuck, we're good.
Yeah.
So in the end, I had a really good time.
I know. I was just about to say.
No, I think a lot of the story it came out. It really was just me and Billy. Billy and I were in a room together. I drove with Joe, but I was in a room with Billy. Terry drove with Billy, but he had a room with Joe.
All right.
So it was a nice crossover kind of. I did. Biggest compliment was that Billy said he got more sleep than he normally does.
Oh.
Which means the roofies work.
Oh, so he wasn't talking about during the show itself?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so New York Girl, I am on a lot of Twitch pages, some controversial and well-known on them. Okay. All right, yeah, we won't say your name, but again, no way to prove it, but I knew who you were. Thanks for watching, by the way. Thanks for joining us. All right, so real quick, because I do hashtags, I put out hashtags of topics that we're covering.
Sure.
So there are two quick topics that I didn't cover that I hashtagged. So I'm just going to mention them really quick.
Lying piece of shit.
That's me. In Dublin, they just had the world's best steak challenge. I wish I was a part of that. The best steak is the Wagyu.
Wagyu, yeah.
Wagyu. It's pronounced Wagyu.
Yeah.
You've had it?
Yeah.
And it's good?
Yeah, it's Asian. It's East Asian.
It's Japan.
Yeah.
It sells for $200 a pound.
Yeah.
So, holy my goodness. The Japanese have strict controls over its production to ensure its quality and protect its value. Wagyu's cows are stuff of legend. This type of cow distributes fat more evenly through its muscles, which makes the meat so tender. Right. The animals are also fed a high-calorie diet 3 times a day until hitting nearly 50% body fat, which is why its prized meat is so buttery.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with it.
The winning sirloin is an A4 grade, also known as a Kuhn Gold, which is considered ultra premium
Which
steak.
means there's way too much thought and energy in coming up with jargon to fucking explain it's a good fucking piece of meat.
Well, for $200 a pound, it must be. So that was the part.
It better
that
have its own name.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to talk about quickly, I wonder if Chinese cows have small udders. Jeff is wondering why he shouldn't use his real name. All right, the other thing I just wanted to mention, all the best to all you people in Florida. With the hurricane, Beansy, hope you're all right down there. And now it's heading towards South Carolina. So it's picked up, actually, some strength. Mm-hmm. But once it hits land, it should weaken pretty quickly. But this one story I just wanted to quickly mention. A 72-year-old man from Deltona died during the hurricane, which is sad. Yeah. But this man died during the hurricane because he decided, right in the middle, as it was hitting, he decided to go outside and drain his pool. You're dealing with floodwaters, and now you're adding to it by draining your pool. He put his hose down a canal that was a 30-foot wide canal because he wanted to drain his pool.
Right. So
guess what? The man drowned. They went looking for him. They found him, and yeah, he drowned. They had to pull him out of the water.
This feels more like dog bites man.
Yes. Exactly.
Then man bites dog.
It's just, I'm almost glad he's dead because you want to be that stupid.
Well, I don't even fucking care about this guy except for there's a feeling I'm scared of having, and I've had sort of like a light version of it at different points in my life, and I think you're gonna totally know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I really do.
That moment when it's like. Oh shit, this is what reality is now. Like, this is what's happening. Like, the fucking, like, I can't get out of this. That's the feeling I'm most frightened of.
So I'm going to drain the pool.
Well, I mean, obviously, like Fremder said, that guy wanted to die.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, that's the way you don't.
Or unless maybe the wife, she claims this is what happened.
Or if significant other, he could have a guy that he's with, or a non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it?
So New York Girl is asking, did you come to Twitch on my suggestion? I can help you reach more peeps from other pages I'm a member of. You were definitely. I didn't forget what you told me. And in talking to other people, I had mentioned, a friend of mine suggested it. But then we had another a comedian named Nathan Norton. His girlfriend suggested it, and she's been very instrumental. Stephanie, she was just on our show a couple weeks ago. She's been very instrumental with helping us get it set up and get it going. But yeah, I'll take any help you can give, and of course it's appreciated. Fremder, draining your pool during a hurricane is the same as washing your car in the rain, except no one will kill you.
So one will kill you. Yeah.
Oh, one will kill you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Which one?
What's that?
Nothing.
So So I just wanted to share those two stories quick. Wherever, if you're in the line of the hurricane, we hope you're safe. We hope you're okay. And so you're performing
tonight in Amityville, Club 121.
Right. Tonight, our pal Chris Cassandro is also
Chris
on the bill.
Going to be on there.
Emily Santosis. Hugh Murray.
Oh yeah, Hugh Murray. Sorry, Hugh's hosting it. Butera is headlining it. So you can call it an early night at some point.
What else you got this weekend? Anything?
No, I'm probably tomorrow going to go out to the Bellport Brewing Company because Billy is headlining out there.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if Joe's on that show, but Rob White's on that show. Just like that's, I'm going to just start pumping the Suffolk guys.
Yeah, why not?
Because
that's fine.
Because we don't get enough.
And we there is no green room show tomorrow. Maybe next week we'll return. I'll have to talk to Don. We'll see. But don't forget Don tonight. Donversations at 8:00. Right here on not here on Twitch, but on the YouTube channel. Tonight at 8:00, Donversation with Don Sill at 8:00 on the YouTube channel. So go check that out. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll be back here on Monday. Julie will be back here with me on Monday. She's bringing her friend Tim. I don't know this
friend,
man.
and I was like, oh. And then
no DP action. This guy Tim wants to do a podcast in here about Long Beach. I don't
cool.
know.
Remember we met that guy that did like...
the Levittown guy.
Levittown guy, yeah.
Yeah, Dan, I think was his name.
He was cool, though. He
was a good guy. Really cool I liked him, yeah. Wheatus. Thank you, Don. I couldn't remember in my head. Wheatus. He had a...
Teenage dirtbag
That's the guy. That's the guy.
I watched the...
yeah.
The little promo he cut.
That's if you know that song, the guy
that
did that song, Wheatus, he's on with Don tonight. He had a great conversation last week with Jamie Kennedy. You can still find that on YouTube. And then check out tonight, Brendan B. Brown from Wheatus. Thank you, Don. And then, I'll be back here Monday with Julie and Tim. And then Tuesday, Jay and Dan and Nigel Fullerton is coming in. He's in town.
Get your earplugs.
Get my earplugs?
Well, he's just
he's loud.
He's a little loud.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
But he's fun. Yeah. He's great. Now set up Discord, says New York Girl. All right. You're already...
How about Discord?
Oh! Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Thank you, pal. See you guys later. Bye-bye.